going on, guys? Welcome back to another video with me, the Mighty Miguel. You're watching the Mighty Gaming channel. Today's video is just a very quick guide on how I survived for 100 days. It's the Mighty's Quick Survival Guide to State of Decay 2. First thing that needs mentioning is looting. Especially at the start of the game, looting is super important. You need to loot as fast as possible. Once you get your first 400 influence, you can build your first outpost and basically just keep removing it and then building it as you're going along, because you can store stuff through the outpost and you get a full refund when you pick it up again. So you can just build it, say you build it there, loot all the stuff around here, then pick it up and move over to here, build it there, loot all that stuff, and then pick it up again, move this way, build it there, loot all that stuff, and then pick it up again, and so on and so on. You can just go around the whole map. As you can see, I've looted literally the whole map. There is nothing left to loot. I mean, some things say that they need looting still, but it's empty, I guarantee you. The next thing to mention is you can swap maps. So once you've cleared a map completely, I mean, you've got 100 days, you've got plenty of time, you're going to clear some maps. I think we cleared almost every map twice. So I did every map in the game, cleared it all. I kept, clearing the map, moving to the next one, clearing the map, moving to the next one. 6 times we moved, and this map's clear as well, so I could move again. I'm ready to move again anyway. Massively important. The next thing worth mentioning is your loadout of your character. I mean, a good melee weapon is a must. The sharp weapons are more deadly, but they break faster. The blunt weapons aren't as deadly, but they last longer. If you don't have the weapons handling skill yet, revolvers and bolt-action rifles are definitely the way to go. I try to shy away from revolvers. Their reload time on them is really bad. If you're in a sticky situation, the last thing you want to do is watch your character loading bullets into a revolver one at a time. It's a nightmare. Bolt-action rifles, excellent. Some of my favorite guns in the game are the bolt-action rifles. Especially the scoped ones. You could pick stuff off from a distance. If you had a suppressor, it didn't cause too much trouble. And you don't run through your ammo too fast. I mean, if you've got an abundance of ammo and you've got good assault rifles, by all means, take assault rifles. They are probably the best guns in the game. Highly recommend single shot, though, so you don't melt all your ammo in one go. The other thing worth mentioning is I always took 3 stacks of ammo with me all the time. Most normal people will probably only need 2, but because I shoot everything that moves, I always took 3. And always take at least 1 stack of painkillers. Don't take the bandages. The bandages are great when you're not being chased by a million zombies, because they're slow working, and once you do something, they stop. So if you can just stand like I am now and hit a bandage, she'll just stand there and keep bandaging, and her health will slowly go back up. But as soon as she gets attacked, it'll stop. Whereas the painkillers, they're instant pop, your health goes straight up, and you can keep fighting. Excellent if you're in the middle of a battle and you're about to die, you can just pop your painkillers and keep fighting, and you won't die. So always painkillers, not the bandages. First aid kits are also really good, but they're hard to come by. Now, with the first aid kits and the first aid building in your base, you can heal those hard injuries that actually take your health down permanently till you heal them. However, don't heal every time your character gets a little bump on the head. You don't need to heal them, because you will go through all your meds really fast. Let them get reasonably hurt before you actually use them. I always let them get down to about a third down before I actually give them a first aid kit, because if you first aid kit every little bump that your character gets, you're going to go through them all really quick, and then you're not going to have any when you really need them. You will build up a decent supply. I mean, if you've got tons and all your character is in good health, by all means heal every little bump on the head you get. But as I said, be conservative till at least you've got a bit of loot and a bit of meds built up, and then go from there. With vehicles, you only really need, realistically, 4 vehicles if you're playing with 4 buddies. If you're playing by yourself, you realistically only need 1 or 2. I went and picked up all the vehicles on the map because, why not? I had 100 days, I had plenty of time. Highly recommend keeping a faster... Hello, you're just having a little nap in the bush there, are you? Highly recommend having a faster but less space vehicle for those go-to missions where you have to go somewhere, do something, come back. And the big vans and stuff, and the big trucks for the missions where you need to actually loot and put rucksacks in the back. As I said, I collected all the vehicles on the map every time, but you don't have to do that. And now with all the DLC vehicles, you can just call in right at the start. You definitely don't need to worry too much. I think out of all the vehicles that I crashed as well, I only ever got one stuck so bad that I couldn't get it out. Now, if that ever does happen to you, you can invite a buddy into your game, ask him to sit in the vehicle, and then run away from him. And you can tether him out. I mean, it's only if you really, really get stuck. I've always managed to wiggle them out somehow, except for that one. So vehicles, always handy, but, you know, you don't really need a stupid supply of them. The fact that the vehicle can blow up and you can fix it again is kind of nice. I mean, you can let it be destroyed a million times, you'll always get it back. The next thing we're going to look at is the base itself. I mean, I had basically every leader building you can get. How am I going to explain this? I had the barracks initially, but I got rid of it because even though I'm minus beds, I'm still positive in morale, so that really doesn't matter. I can really boost it with outposts if I really wanted to get my morale up even higher, but it's not a big deal. I have seen people do the, I call it party people strategy, where they have no beds at all, and they just have like stills and stuff, and that's how they keep their community happy. As long as it's in the green, it doesn't really matter. The next thing we've got to look at is the Armory. Now, the Armory is super handy and makes life super convenient, but it's not necessary. The one that's really important is the Trade Depot. Now, with the Trade Depot, you can call in, I think it's about every 35 minutes, you can call in a trader of any description, whether it be for fuel, materials, parts, ammo, meds, or food. Every trader that you call in will have 3 rucksacks. They cost about 100 and, I can't even remember now. About 200-ish influence per rucksack. As long as you've got the influence, you can buy everything you need. I mean, the food trader even comes with the mods you need for the hydroponics and the farms and all that. Like, it's so OP. The next thing that needs to be mentioned is that you should try and keep a balance of your base. I mean, I've let this one go a bit astray because I wasn't really that fussed. But if you can keep all these numbers positive, so this is telling you how much food you've got, and this is telling you how much you're using per day. I mean, seeing -4s and -5s are bad, but seeing pluses are good. I mean, it is absolutely possible that I could dump all my outposts and get 5 material outposts and put that to 0, and then switch one of my hydroponic setups so that I would get more meds instead of losing a heap. I'm actually surprised the infirmary uses so much. I only built that field hospital for the achievement. I can probably destroy that now since I have the achievement.
But make sure it's got a few gun racks too.
Bye-bye!
Seriously, you can't have too much storage.
I usually have the garage there so I can upgrade the vehicles willy-nilly whenever I want. But definitely fill in the, build what you can to get the materials you need in your base, and then fill in the gaps with the outposts. The hydroponics are definitely the best food building type you can get. With the compost heap mod on it, it gives you +3 per day. If you get the compost heap mod, it gives you +6, because I believe it's +100%. This one already had it. I mean, it says 3, but it does give you 6 with the mod. And then if you seed it, it gives you another 50%. So that gives you 8, which is just insane. And if you have 2 of them, that's 16, which is just bonkers. You can always switch one to meds if you need more meds, and that's also handy. I always had a workshop and an infirmary as well, and 1 guard tower. The guard tower you need to keep your threat level down so you don't get attacked every 5 minutes. The infirmary, obviously you need that to cure blood plague people and make meds. And the workshop was for fixing weapons that got broken, and you can also use it to pull apart those salvage weapons remains for more parts. So let's recap real quick. Your loadout, you definitely want 3 stacks of ammo and 1 pile of meds. If you're going to leave the base in a vehicle, always make sure you got 1 gas can in the front, just in case. I mean, you can always use the strategy of opening your base menu for when you're not in the base, and going into your storage and pulling out a rucksack that way of fuel and opening it to get fuel if you get really stuck. But it's not really a big deal. It's just handy to have fuel in the back, and you can always grab it out and fuel up your car on the road. Try to keep all your numbers in pluses. Make sure you loot everything. Especially the like places where everything's really close together. Attack those places first, and if you can't be bothered to pick off all the little one houses that are all alone, just move maps. Just switch to the next map. You'll get a full refund of everything you built in the base, and you get a whole fresh map to loot. The other thing is the survivors themselves. Try to recruit people with open slots if you can. The looks of the character don't really matter. The talents of the character can be helpful, but aren't super important. I mean, we always just recruited people by looks rather than their talents, especially if they had open slots, because I could fill in gaps later with skill books. If you're desperate for skill books, definitely check the libraries out. They're definitely the best spot to find them, and just fill in the gaps as you go. And that's basically it, really. We made surviving 100 days look quite easy with that strategy. Definitely, we used a lot of the find resource people to call in ammo mostly. If you call in the ammo, 90% of the time it will appear in the same spot in the same building. So you can just keep running. If you know exactly where it is every time, you can just keep running and picking it up. I believe you can call it every 15 minutes.
Hey, I bet our neighbors could point us towards some good scavenging spots.
Every 13 minutes, there you go. So every 13 minutes you can basically get another rucksack of ammo for 35 influence, which is pretty nice. But the ammo trader is more convenient, but more expensive in influence. But if you've got heaps of influence, go for it. I mean, I spent most of the time running around with 9999, but I've been a bit lazy and it's down to 1604, but that's fine. That's basically it, really. Make sure you always have the biggest base as well. The box fort was probably the most defendable base, and the storage was ridiculous. The strip mall probably had the most versatility. You could set it up any way you wanted it, and it was brilliant. It doesn't necessarily have to be the big bases, though. There are some of the smaller bases that are pretty good. The distillery is pretty good if you're going to run the party people strategy with no beds and just stills. And the baseball field was also super versatile. I mean, it wasn't super hard to defend, and you could fit everything you needed in there easily, and it had built-in beds. Cool. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Be sure to check out the rest of my videos, the Spotify playlist, and the Facebook page. I will link my playlist of my 100 Days Survival if you want to click through that and see that. It's all recorded on YouTube, the full 100 Days of Surviving. I will link it somewhere up there. But anyway, until next time, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Be sure to check out the Spotify playlist, the Facebook page, and the merch shop. And I'll see you guys on the live stream. Until then, stay mighty. I'm the Mighty Miguel. Peace. See ya. Bye.